Live. Hey y'all, so let's do part three of my TEDx talk. I'm breaking it down. I know that you probably could just watch it, look at the link below somewhere. I'll post it eventually, giving you access to watching the whole thing on your own if that's what you want. Otherwise, just watch it with me right now. So we're doing the next moving into minute 3 and minute 4, and I'd love to break it down with you. So let's start this. Now I have to do the screen share every time, so hopefully you don't mind me going back and forth. I was told that it's best that when I talk, to come back to the full screen so you can see my face. So here we go. So we're going to go into now opening this up so you can see it. I've gone again to minute to 2:49, and we're going to listen and pause and talk about it. Here it goes.
At the same time, many of us have experienced touch that's not been safe, appropriate, asked for, or consensual.
So again, that was, how many of you have received touch that's not been safe, appropriate, asked for, or consensual? That's really huge. And I think of this from both the practitioner and the client perspective. Most of us have received touch at some point. Think about childhood. Think about going back when you were a baby. You know, you were made to like sit in the high chair, or made to put into your car seat, or made to hug your Aunt Bertha, whatever. Like touch, we're raised to kind of give our bodies over. Like our bodies aren't ours. So most of us have that experience around touch. And I then proceed to asking the crowd something very interesting, which you don't get to see the response at that time, but watch. But I remember watching and looking at the crowd when I asked this next question.
Raise your hand if you're willing. If you, at one time in your life, have experienced touch that's not been safe, appropriate, asked for, or consensual.
What was really interesting about that was that the crowd, most of the people had raised their hands. And I just want to acknowledge how important it is that we acknowledge this has happened to us, that it's not unusual. Men and women, all of us have experienced this kind of thing. And that's like building the argument around, right, why we need spaces in which we can consent for touch. And here we go. Let's go back. Keep back and forth here. Let's press play again.
Case in point, here in San Antonio, we all know that one person that when they see us, they run up to us and they give us a squeeze, and we embrace ourselves. In my family, it's expected that I give a kiss on the cheek to every relative that I see. And while this is widely accepted in our culture, it's rare that a hug is offered or asked for.
All right, so let's look at that again here. So I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm part of a Mexican culture. I am Mexican American, and yes, in my family, touches, at least the greeting, right? Like the hellos and the goodbyes are really important. And again, in our city, again, hugging, there are those people out there that are like, they come and see you, they want to hug you. And one time I went to this event where this person who just hugs everybody later came up to me, and she didn't hug me. She came up to me and she said, I just noticed that I wanted to get close to you, but you were giving a clear no. And again, this was all nonverbal. And I said, because I want you to ask me. I don't want you to come up and hug me. I don't know you. And again, how important it is that those who are big huggers and cuddlers, and I get people saying, I love to cuddle, I love to hug, I'm really big on touch, and they think this is the work for them. And what I challenge them is, okay, is this the work for you, or is this because you like touch? Because it's not just about touch. This is about consent. It's about boundaries, about asking for what you want, knowing what you're a clear no about, and communicating that with other people. And if you feel really bad telling somebody no, or feel really bad about asking for touch instead of just taking it, then that's something to look at, right? And so again, it's really important that we create cultures in our society that's big on asking. Let's keep going. Woo.
It's expected that everyone wants to be touched in this way. And actually this makes touch less accessible because many of us have our defenses up. Touch is taken from us, not requested.
I really want to talk about that. Super important that we recognize when touch is taken, right? So when someone comes up to us and like, give me touch and give me hugs, what happens to that person? I remember going to an event where I was talking about my work and I was asking, offering people hugs. And this one person said to me, no, I don't want you. I don't want anything. And what I found when I respected that, I'm like, yes, absolutely. Like, not a problem. I'm not going to hug you. When we discussed it later, what was really clear is that he had learned no because he had never been respected. It had always been taken, and it actually makes it less safe. So if you want to create a world where there's more touch, often we think, well, let me just touch everybody. And that's actually not the most effective way. If you want to create a world where there's a lot more touch, then you need to ask. You need to allow people to say yes and no and figure out what feels good for them. And when we respect one another, we can have more abundance of touch. Otherwise, again, when we are taking touch from people, we find that walls go up and people are more resistant because they don't have control. And I think a lot of us want to be able to have control over our bodies. So let's keep going and listening to more.
For this reason, many people think that this is what I do. Yeah, it seems creepy and a little gross. Many people can't imagine what I do because the touch that they've received has not felt good. It's not been consensual.
Wow, isn't that really important? Often if you look on social media and there's the topic of professional cuddling comes up, it's usually gross. Again, it's creepy. Who would want to do that? Why would I do that? That's just disgusting or whatever. And I imagine there's many reasons for that. And I imagine it's because people are imagining that I am like making people hug and touch. And that's not true. Actually, in my sessions and the ones that are what I call my empower touch sessions, I find that those people are wanting and they're asking for what they want. I don't impose myself on them. And so again, like that image that was shown, really funny. My friend Francine and her mom did that for me. But it is true that we have this idea that, again, touch is being, I'm impressing touch on people instead of them able to consent to the touch that they want. And I forgot the last thing I said there, but I will move on, I guess. I'm almost done with this section.
We are both afraid and ashamed of touch. We don't trust touch.
So we are both afraid and ashamed of touch. We don't trust touch. Let me say that again. We are both afraid and ashamed of touch. We don't trust touch because it's been taken, because it's been abused, because a lot of us are carrying trauma from childhood around sexual or physical abuse. And then I go into some of the pluses. The next section, next time I do this video, I'll talk about the positives of touch and why it's so important that we do have touch. But right now, establishing why we struggle with this topic and how valuable it is that we're having this conversation. So love you all. Thanks for watching, for learning with me, and for watching if you got this far. Any questions, comments, please, of course, post them and let me know what you think. And I'll talk to y'all later.